The Dolphin card is fairly simple to make. We've got the cover, which I've printed, and then the inside, and really these two parts of the Dolphin. So what I'd like to do is just show you a little bit about how we fold and cut the Dolphin parts of the body. Now I'm going to start with the larger one, and really the same process is repeated for both of them. What you need to do is cut it out and fold all your score lines and trim lines, and we've got two of the flaps here which fold back. A little note about these, I've just cut in and zigzagged slightly just to add a little bit of interest to that edge there, to make it look a little bit more like the waves that it's going in. And you could actually be much more dramatic than I've been. Now with the smaller tabs, we've got to cut round there and then just fold these back, because that's what we're going to glue in order to get the shape of the Dolphin. And then we've got a final score line to make down here, which is the back, which is where the two halves fold. And I think it's also worth noting that when you fold the two halves, you want them to line up, so don't be afraid to just force it, as it were, to go in the position there you want it to be. I think there's quite good, so I'll just push that there. And now for the gluing. Now you can use, and I would use the wet glue, but be careful if, like my printer, the ink isn't waterproof. If you get it everywhere, it smudges awfully. Or you can use the glue gun. In this instance, I'm going to put a little bit of the wet glue down. These tabs need to be quite strong, and this is where, in all honesty, the wet glue really does sort of pay off if you can take the time to use it. So I glue down there, and then I've bent the tabs over so that I can now just, as it were, ease everything down together and get that gluing, and then just hold that a little bit of pressure. Then I'll put that to one side and let it dry. And incidentally, while that's drying, I think it's worth noting that at some point you're going to need to just come and just check. You don't want to do it too soon now, but you want to check that it hasn't stuck down both sides and it is going to glue. Again, I said be careful, the glue can go everywhere. Now I really am going to just repeat exactly what I've done there on the back here. The only difference now is we've got a few more fold lines which I've pre-scored and folded, and then we'll come back and look at what this does. It's actually the lift mechanism for the tail. So I'll go on ahead now and just glue the back tail part here. Now I've stuck the back one here. If you find things don't line up just right, you can, but be very careful, just cut some of the excess away. What we don't want to do is cut into the actual body part and lose structural integrity, or you can just put a little bit of blue on there to cover it. But in all honesty, when this opens up, it'll disguise itself when it's done. So that's the back tail part done. Now a couple of little extra bits on this one which I'd like to show you. You want to get a nice firm crease as the tail comes out. What we've done is going to have this mechanism here, and that just swings down, I can show you here, and just sticks onto the inside of the tail. And effectively what it's trying to do now is just push that apart. So what we'll do is just glue those two sides, one there and one there, and just push that down centre line to centre line there, and a little bit of rub. So what I've done is glue that little panel there, that panel there, and effectively what it's doing is just helping to spring the tail out, so when it comes on out it's got a little bit more shape and form to it. So it just helps a little bit with the design there. Both parts are now done, so what I'm going to do, the next stage, is put them down onto the base card. Okay, I've got my base down here, and you'll notice that there's a little bit of a guideline just showing there. And so what I'm going to do is just put some glue here on both sides and just line up with the foot here on the side of the card there. Now really effectively what we're doing is making sure that the Dolphin's nose is within the area of the card. Now if you, like mine, find that your printer doesn't go quite edge to edge, feel free just to tip it a little bit. But that there gives you the guideline, and that's pretty well on for me, and it's within the card if I trim it. So that's fine. I've got some glue on that side, so over it goes. A little bit of rub, and then we can open the card and up pops our dolphin, like so. That's fantastic. You can see now how these tabs just camouflage themselves in with the waves there. So now what we've got to do is the back part, and again that's just really more of the same. What we're going to do is put the tail in, fold the tabs down. You'll see that there's a little bit of a line here, it follows at an angle. So what I'm going to do is just line that up, centre part there with that corner, roughly along that line with the angle. Fold the tail back, and again put a little bit of rub onto that, and voila, up comes the dolphin's tail. We can see how that paper's now adding a little bit of spring for us. And there's our dolphin card. You can see now that it's really quite effective and very simple to make. The only problem that there is just, and if it is really a problem, it's just the gluing of the tabs takes a little bit of care more than anything else. But I think you agree that's a really nice card. Now I've put this with the cover this way and the dolphin coming the opposite way, but you can have it the other way if you like. It's really up to you. Maybe it's quite nice to have the dolphin coming towards you, swimming towards you, or swimming away. The preference is yours. Just turn it round when you pop it in the printer. Okay, and there we go. Another card, simple to make. Have fun with this one.